Once upon a time, there were 25 tin soldiers, all alike. They were molded from the same piece of tin, each with a tall hat, bright red uniform, and a proud musket resting on one shoulder. They stood straight and tall, shoulder to shoulder, ready for battle, or at least play. But one soldier was different. He had only one leg. The tin had run out before the toymaker could finish him, so he stood on just one foot. Yet he stood more firmly than the rest, unwavering and brave. This soldier would come to show more courage than any of his brothers. The tin soldiers belonged to a little boy who kept them in a box in his playroom. On the day they arrived, the boy set them out on a table with all his other toys. There were castles, animals, and paper trees. But the most beautiful of all was a delicate paper ballerina. She wore a white dress with a blue sash, and she stood on one pointed toe, perfectly balanced. Because the one-legged tin soldier had only a single leg, he thought the ballerina had only one as well. He was struck by her grace and stillness. She seemed so much like him, elegant, strong, and silent. He watched her for hours, and though he said nothing, he began to feel something warm and gentle inside, a feeling he didn't know how to name. When night came and the house grew quiet, something magical happened. The toys came to life. The dolls whispered, the animals trotted, and the ballerina spun softly on her paper toe. But the tin soldier did not move. He stood silently, watching her. Then suddenly, the lid of a nearby jack-in-the-box flew open. A clownish figure popped out and hissed, "Keep your eyes to yourself, Tin Man." But the soldier did not flinch. He remained firm and calm. The next day, the tin soldier was placed on a windowsill, perhaps by accident, or perhaps because the jack-in-the-box had something to do with it. A gust of wind blew through, and the soldier fell out of the window, spinning through the air and landing in the street below. Rain began to fall. Two boys found the soldier and, seeing his uniform, made him a boat out of newspaper. They placed him inside and sent him sailing down the gutter, laughing as he floated away. The water carried him through dark tunnels and past stones and sticks. The soldier stayed upright, never wavering, even when the current grew fast and wild. Suddenly, he was swept into a dark sewer. There, enormous rats stared at him from the shadows. "Where's your passport?" they squeaked. "Show your papers." But the tin soldier said nothing. He stood brave and silent as the water rushed him onward. The current swept him out of the sewer and into a canal. A large fish spotted him and, snap, swallowed him whole. Inside the fish's belly, the soldier stood still. It was dark and wet and cold, but he did not complain. Fate had not forgotten him. The fish was soon caught and sold at the market. A cook took it home to the very same house where the tin soldier had once stood so proudly. When the fish was cut open, there he was, still standing, still silent. The children were delighted. "It's our tin soldier," they cried. They cleaned him up and placed him once again on the table, right in front of the ballerina. She stood as beautifully as ever, still balanced on one foot, still graceful and still. The soldier looked at her, and though he said nothing, he felt that same warmth inside him once more. But that night, something terrible happened. The jealous jack-in-the-box had not forgotten the soldier. Whether it was magic or mischief, a gust of wind blew the soldier off the table and straight into the stove. Flames roared around him. He grew hot, but he made no sound. His paint peeled and his metal began to melt, but he stood straight, never turning away from the ballerina. As the fire rose higher, another breeze fluttered through the room and caught the paper ballerina. She floated through the air like a feather and landed right beside the tin soldier into the flames. The next morning, when the maid cleaned out the stove, all that was left was a small tin heart, melted but still whole. Beside it lay a crumpled piece of blackened paper, the ballerina's spangle. The story of Steadfast Tin Soldier is a tale of quiet courage and unwavering love. Though made of metal, he had more heart than most. He never spoke a word, but his actions told the world what it means to love bravely and to stand tall, even when the fire is rising.